I was born in Canada.
Ah,
What up? It's Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday. This your Friday? You off the rest of the week?
What I'm saying is,
She only had no mic. Here, you take.
thought it was
What you put down? Oh my God. See, this is your Monday. You putting down mic. This ain't your Friday. That's a Monday move right there.
say no to drugs.
That's a Monday move right there. What's up, y'all? It's Busy With B Mondays. Look, I got it. She moving the mics and putting the mics on the floor. You okay today?
You know what? I'm here. I'm focused.
It's all right
Back.
today. It's okay today.
It's okay.
Thank y'all for tuning in, though. ListenVisionLive.com. That is the station. That is the network, WLVS, right here on Big Bad Georgia Avenue.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um,
So we like to open the show. We always open the show. We talk about the weekend. Today we're going to start with those Redskins.
Hell to the Redskins.
I mean, how about that?
Hell to the... Look, that's my mob. I talked a lot of trash about them early in the season. Y'all saw me. I had a little emotional meltdown. I'm not going to lie. I had an emotional meltdown when Darius Geis got hurt. I really did. I went on social media and kind of kirked out. But they have really been coming through.
Redskins is showing up. I'm
really
saying
been
they
coming
going to
through.
work a little bit with the offense, but we got defense, so we're going to go with that.
Hey, as long as we win, I don't care.
We had like a serious week with just skipping subjects, but we had a real long week
A lot going on in the
with
world.
the pipe bomber.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a lot of you guys might not have heard about this, but another shooting in Kentucky. 2 African Americans were killed at a Safeway. The same white man was trying to get into a black church, but he wasn't able to.
And sadly, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, I'm just lucky enough to watch CNN all day, so I was fortunate enough to hear about that.
But that's crazy that we living in a society where there's so many of these tragedies going on that a tragedy like that can get kind of swept under the rug, under the news rug.
Definitely.
Because I swear I didn't know anything about that.
Because it didn't end up in like a mass type of situation.
Right.
Fortunately, the church was locked, but he tried to get into a church in Kentucky. He couldn't get in. And I mean, he went to the grocery store or something like that, and he ended up killing two African American black people, and it was a white man. So,
well, I mean,
yeah.
Of course it was a white guy.
I knew he was gonna have something to say about that.
Hey,
go ahead.
These quote unquote terrorist acts aren't being taken place by Muslim people or Hispanic illegals or none of that. They all white cats. So I'm not labeling all white men as terrorists.
No,
at
we
all.
definitely can't.
But
do
what
that.
I am saying
we
is,
won't
is
fall
that
into that trap.
what we can't do, and this is an example, is label any group as anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's evil and wickedness out here in the world from everybody. And we got to be careful not to let people at the top it give us the idea that certain people are labeled as terrorists, as evil, no matter what God they pray to, what they look like, none of that type of stuff. So
I totally agree.
that's all I'm trying to say.
So we need to send some prayers up for the victims
Absolutely.
in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
And, I'm definitely shouts and prayers to those people that were just trying to go and worship God.
Yeah. Worship their God. Oh, something dear to my heart. So, when I was younger, I know a lot of you guys out there should have heard about the hobo shop, helping our brothers out.
Yes,
it was really big. That's when I met some of my best friends and really, really good girlfriends and guy friends. And that was our hangout spot. And that was a family at the time. And so we lost Angie. Angie lost her life and lost her fight to cancer. I don't really know the details. I tried to kind of reach out, but as you grow apart. Mm-hmm. But I did try to kind of reach out and get those, get some details a little bit to kind of mention it on the show. But she was a very great influence just on my life. She took me in, treated me as family. And when you say Angie, you got to say Moochie. So both of them together. And it was just a family. And it was exactly what the title was, helping our brothers out. And they took a lot of young people under their wings and gave them jobs in the stores and showed them. I mean, like, I can remember designing my first hobo dress and always having exclusives because I was fortunate enough to have the inside.
Hobo dress.
Yeah, and that was everything to me. So them times, you know, looking back at it was just a piece of life and a part of life that was just great, you know. And though I don't always keep in touch with those people, I just want to say, Angela Day, rest in peace. You have left a great legacy for your kids, a great legacy for just the lives you have touched. And it's unfortunate that we didn't keep in touch, but you have had a great impact on just the woman that I have become. So rest easy. I would love to pay my respects, so I will be reaching out to see where those arrangements are. But you are loved right here with Buzy With B. Part of the woman I am is greatly due to just seeing you do your thing and just being a strong, powerful African-American woman. You know, it's nothing like those memories I shared right there in Capitol Heights, Southern Avenue, standing outside, hanging and doing all that good stuff. So rest in peace and thank you. And on that note, what happened to like the
shooters? I don't know what happened to all of these young black entrepreneurs that were starting clothing lines in the 90s. And I mean, you know, you always had Madness right up the street from here.
Yeah.
But then you had Madness, you had DDTP in Southeast, you had Hobo, We Are One, Shooters still around though. Shooters still doing their thing, robbing them still doing their thing. You had all these things, but I mean, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened to these they were institutions in the city and in PG County, so I don't know what happened to
yeah,
all
we got to get back to that. I'm going to drop names, but you know, eventually you're gonna have to pay for this, you know. But Japaris, I love what you're doing. Just a great friend to the show, a great friend of mine. Keep doing your thing. Support these businesses. Support the brothers, especially when they trying to make a way. And I'm just gonna drop a happy note. Buzy With B fashions will be coming to your internet and stores.
I better get some type of piece of something.
Look,
I better get something.
I hope y'all peeping that logo down there. So I'm just excited about the past.
I ain't even peeped the logo.
That's what I'm saying.
I ain't even peeped the logo.
I'm dropping it.
You
on.
fancy,
I'm dropping it slowly but surely.
That's
but I'm
what's
just so excited to the things that God is doing in my life, and I'm telling you, if He birth it, speak it, visualize it. Like when I started this, all I thought about was a podcast, a live internet show. I never thought that it would be going in the ways that it's going, and having the type of guests that I'm fortunate to have on the show and coming on the show. We got some great shows for November. So today, though, is kind of a serious topic. We're going to get into it real soon, but we're going to be talking about mental health, mental awareness, just talking about it and just letting you guys know it's okay. I have a special guest that took time out. She's dear to me. You know, you're not supposed to get attached to your therapist, so I won't say I'm very much attached, but I have to remember she's my therapist.
That's all right.
But we developed just a great friendship in the sorts. And she came to the show today. She holds all my secrets, holds all the cards. She will be joining us on the show and just bringing us some awareness. If you have questions or, you know, want just help us identify, because even me, I'm going to share my story, but I'm going to share it after we come back, after we have her up here with us. We're going to just talk about that. It's okay, you know?
Yeah,
Let's talk about it right here on Buzy With B.
We taking a break?
I think we should take a break so we can get right into it.
Let's take a quick little break. We take a quick little break and we'll be right back with Buzy With B.
All right, see you in a sec.
busting up the scene in them G's that is working.
We are back right here. I have Linda Best, and she fits her name. Linda Best. Yeah, she fits her name. I don't like her to go on vacation or anything. You know, I'm like, no, you cannot go on vacation. But this is my personal therapist, and we have become, you know, I would say great friends. We keep it, you know, business like. But she's a great therapist, and having a therapist have truly changed my life. So I'm going to just start with letting you know that it's okay. Yes. I'm going to start with my story. I was going through a situation at work, and I didn't even recognize that I was depressed. I didn't want to come out of my room. I didn't want to go to work. As a matter of fact, I didn't go to work. It took me a couple of weeks, and someone reached out to me and just reached out to me like, hey, where have you been? Are you okay? And she began to talk to me and just let me identify my situation and identify some of the things I was going through and just let me know that's not normal. Mm-hmm. And it's help out there. And she gave me numbers and people to reach out to, and your insurance is actually something you can do, and flip that card over and call that number. So I started there, but I'm just saying it changed my life. I went from a situation where, I mean, you going to a therapist, you don't have to worry about your deepest, darkest secrets out there in the universe. I mean, a lot of times coming up, you pull all your heart and you pull all your soul out, see that good girlfriend, and your secrets out, you know. And it's just like you now create a safe environment, you know, especially as you growing into a woman. I'm not talking about the things that you done as a girl, but when you growing into a woman, you still transitioning, but you dealing with so many childhood things that you don't even think is an issue. Mm-hmm. But it carries over in every relationship. And I'm not just talking about your husband relationship. I'm talking about your girlfriend relationship. It's carrying over. So I'm just finding a way to kind of deal. And it's been the best dealing that I could have done. It helps me be a better mom and a better wife. Which I'm not a wife, but I mean, why not use that word? I'm speaking it. Just to lighten the mood. But Linda Best, she giving us out her time, and I'm greatly appreciative to that. And I guess we could start just like asking her some questions. Sure. And
please do.
Tell us about you. Like, how'd you get into being a therapist, and you know, how did that all begin for you?
Okay, great. So I am an Army retiree, and so when I left the military like 18 years ago, I always had the spirit of wanting to help people, and I knew that, kind of born with that kind of thing. So I wanted to do it better. You know, I knew the basis about helping people, but I wanted to be a little bit more professional with it. So in 2003, I decided to go to grad school and get a degree in counseling, and that's kind of been the course of me. I started out working with children from 11 to 18, and then I advanced to adults, and so that's kind of been the course of my career in counseling. And so now so that's
well, that's good. That kind of shows people that it's not too late in life to go back to school and do things that you really always dreamed of doing.
Yeah, it's never ever too late to pursue your goals. Age is not even a limit. It's nothing to even
Absolutely.
consider.
I'm
Absolutely.
definitely learning that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
learning that. You're like, oh, I'm almost there. I won't say my age, but it's
Oh, Lord.
never it's never too late. But one of the questions I want to ask is, how do you help people, or how do people know that they even going through a mental type of situation? Like I didn't know, I just knew, and it was kind of a cycle with me too. It was really early on in life that I was finding myself in, not wanting to do anything, and depending on what's going on in my life at the time, but I didn't really identify with that. But as I got older and I have a house now and I can't take over, I need somebody to pay the bills. So it's the same thing that I was doing. I had to make a change. And I was just fortunate that someone stepped in and helped me identify. But if we were talking to someone out there, how do they identify that they have an issue and they need to get help?
Sure. Like family and friends are a very important piece of knowing when there's a significant change in someone. So when you see someone that's kind of like changing their routines, and maybe they were used to love playing basketball, and all of a sudden they're just in the room with the doors closed, because depression and anxiety, they want to spend time with you. They want you to isolate from the things that you love and enjoy. So I would say, if you see someone kind of completely changing their routines, not going to work, not just leaving their home, don't want to engage with the children and things like that, then probably they're experiencing some form of a mental health crisis. So we have to, look out for each other.
How would you describe or define mental illness?
Well, mental illness, it could be two things. Illness is really a strong word. Most of the time, we're just having some kind of emotional issue, right? We use the word mental, but really that's not what it is. It's just an emotional crisis. And it's when you encounter something and you feel like you just don't have the resources to move forward in life. And you just don't know what to do about it. You don't want to talk to anyone about it. Some people even feel, a little embarrassed to talk about what's going on the inside, because it's an invisible thing that's happening to you, and only you know it's happening. And it's very important too. I want to say this shout out to the men, because it's important. Men are pretty much told they got to be strong all the time, but no, you don't have to be strong all the time. That's ridiculous. If you're having any kind of issues, go talk with someone. Start out with a close friend. You may not be ready to see a mental health professional, and that's fine. But go talk with someone that you trust and you want to share things with.
That's a pretty
Well
straightforward.
said.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Did you have another question for her?
I
'Cause
mean,
I got a whole laundry list.
I mean, go ahead, Boo.
So how does a diagnosis occur? So I'm having issues, things are going on, I go see someone. How does the diagnosis happen? To the point where I can trust what the person is telling me.
Okay, so usually you'll see someone and they'll talk about the symptoms. There's a certain number of symptoms you have to fill a diagnosis. And people are very slow to diagnose you. They want to talk about, how long you've been experiencing it,
Right.
What's the impact on your life, and those kind of things like that. And once you've talked about those things, there's a strict criteria to say this person meets the diagnosis for this particular mental health issue.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's an assessment involved in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think when I started going through the transition, what was some of the things
What you mean by transition?
just wanting to get help,
Okay.
and for me, I think the holidays for me is always tough, and I think I'm still going through a transition. I'm not really getting along with one of my closest family members, and that's kind of detrimental to me. I have my own home and my own family, my own immediate family, but I've always been that family person. And it's just like with everything going on in the world, and all the great things that's happening, I want to share, at that, with my best friend,
Right.
who I'm thinking is my best friend. But I'm learning, through therapy and just looking at things from a different perspective, that it's okay, what I'm saying, to put people on the shelf. And work on yourself, and hopefully people get the help they need. But a lot of times during the holidays, this is the time when people really need to come together, you know, and this is the time. So it's just like, what is some advice that you will give? I know it's another sister or another brother out there that, you know, as you go through life and transition through life, I come from a really big family and everybody has their own immediate families now. So that's a transition to learn how to let go.
Sure, absolutely.
So it's just like, in letting go, you know, what is something that what is some advice that you would give during the holidays, you know, to kind of stay in the spirit, stay uplifted, and not feel alone?
Yeah. So if you know someone, be it family member or friend, who tend to just kind of stay to themselves during the holidays, reach out to them. Be the person who initiates the contact with the person. We kind of know our community. We know the people who live there. And so take the initiative, you know, take the first step and say, hey, you can come over and have dinner with us, or, you know, just create those opportunities for people to kind of step in.
And one of the things, I had an aunt, and she's been gone for some months now. And she reminded me a lot of me, and she was very private and to herself, and she didn't come around much, but I don't think we as a family made much of an effort, and we lost her. And the last time I saw her was just like, oh, don't fight with your sister. You know, life is too short, and you know, of course, with everything going on, and the next time I saw her, I was literally rushing to the hospital to, watch her basically take her last breath. So I just, it's just a tough situation with life just being so short, and people not valuing each other.
Check on your people, man. Check on your loved ones. Just check on. It don't take a lot of effort just to shoot a phone call, stop past someone's house, and or just, you haven't heard from loved ones in a while or what have you. Just check on them or what have you. Now, another thing, especially in our community, when people do stuff, they might commit a crime, Uncle Larry done messed up again or something. We have a tendency to immediately label it as mental illness. How do we differentiate someone who may actually have some kind of mental illness situation going on versus just someone who just may have a very eccentric attitude, disposition about themselves and about life or what have you? Or is there a difference?
There is a difference because, again, with a mental health diagnosis, you have to see a professional to even be diagnosed with that.
Right.
And you're right, we're quick to say that person's mental, and that's the stigma that's attached to mental health, and part of the reason why people don't reach out and get help.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they're afraid that someone's going to label them as being crazy. I'd say if a person's having a problem, even if you don't have a assigned doctor, you can always go to the hospital, your ER, and get evaluated. We got to keep a close watch out on each other. We want to look for those changes.
Absolutely. And y'all out here paying all this money for this insurance. Use that insurance you pay for.
Yeah, that's true.
You
that's the best thing that happened to me.
Use that stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that happened to me. And I honestly say that. Like, I went to try to go to Linda's office today. I thought I had a session. I know I had a show, but I thought I had a session. I was just like, hold up. I was just hoping, but she took some time out for me and helped me because it was already an issue that we had been talking about. But I wasn't proud of my behavior, and it's like for me, I grew up such a passive person, especially I think not that passive to the outside world, but to people that I love. I'm passive, I play the background. I'm always forgiving. I brush stuff under the rug, thinking it'll go away. And I think I'm in a transition, and I don't know if it's quite the baby, but I'm in a transition of, you don't have to like me, you're gonna respect me, especially when I know I'm giving you that same respect that I'm demanding. And it was just like, I wasn't proud of what I done, and I was just like, I feel like talking it out, I realized that it's okay to, to fight in a different way,
Don't be trying to blame the baby because you be snapping at people now. I done seen you snap. And you try to say, but I'm pregnant. Don't be trying. Look, she blaming the baby before the baby even get here.
You know what? You know, I just really,
Poor,
you know,
poor Bella.
Yeah, Bella. Yeah, so I mean, it was just I wasn't proud of that, but
Yeah, nah.
you know, life goes on. You know, you live and you learn. But I'm just like I'm saying, having a therapist is just the best decision that I could have made. And I know coming from where we come from, most of my audience, a lot of my audience is from, you know, them rough parts of the city. We didn't have them 2-parent homes, and we don't even look at just how it broke us down.
That's
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what I was going to say, too.
We don't look at how, you know, we kind of, I mean, my dad was not the best dad when he was around. And I found myself being attracted to my dad, you know? And if I was to describe my dad, you just see this beautiful woman which is me. But you see this beautiful woman, you know, accepting less, you know, and knowing that she wants more, she deserves more, you know, but it's just, these are a lot of things that, you know, having a therapist, you go in, you talk about, feel like it's okay to talk about, and you get to a resource. And before you know it, like, I mean, if you do have, or you have been picking that type of person, you know, your change, and, you know, through your therapy, you need to go get help, you know. And it's just like, I always tell my family, that my sisters, that's the best thing I could have done. And, you know, when I'm on the phone and we having girl talk, I'm like, girl, you need to go to a therapist. I mean, it's just the best thing you could do.
Yeah. What do you do? Couples therapy as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I've been married for 4 years now, and I never went to any kind of therapy at all before I got married.
Wifey, are you listening? Okay.
But I was very willing to do so, you know, before we got married, and even during our marriage. And you know, I try to encourage all my brothers and people that I know that are in relationships and especially married, to go seek therapy, because, you know, you 30, 40 years old and you trying to get into this lifelong commitment after living your whole life. All you had to do was worry about yourself and what was going on with you. Now you have to consider this other person. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
So how do we encourage, especially men, to go and go to therapy, not just for themselves, but for being good husbands and being good fathers? Because I think that's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, hopefully before you get into that commitment of, you know, trying to blend two lives together, because there's challenges. We have different upbringings, different values.
Yes.
So before you make that commitment, that you go together and talk to someone about, you know, how you see your future together, because now you're entering into this one circle now, and, you know, you got to figure out how to make that thing work. And, you know, a lot of times we focus more on the wedding, which is the event, as opposed to the marriage, which is a relationship.
Ladies,
that's the piece that we got to work on and get better with.
I have a question. So say
Here we go.
It's not a relationship show today, but you know the way Buzy With B set up is we gonna go right. I'm gonna take advantage of all of this.
Let's do it.
So I mean, say if you in the relationship already, you know, and you in it, you know, y'all live together. In some cases, y'all already married. What are some of the things that, I mean, what would be some advice that you can give of people, they love each other enough to try to work through certain issues? You know, do you think love is enough?
Well, love is a start. Let's put it like that. But love has to follow actions, and you have to talk about how you're going to talk to each other. You got to talk about the talking, number one, and you got to talk about the talking. Talk about things that's off limits, like hitting below the belt. There's certain things you just won't say in a relationship, or you won't do. So that respect piece has got to be reinforced there too. You guys got to talk. You know, two people have to talk about what respect is in a relationship, how to honor each other. If you're going to walk this journey, walk this path of life, you got to figure out how to do it together.
You gotta learn how to argue.
Fair argument,
You know
though,
what I mean?
without hitting below the belt.
Yes, absolutely.
Without hitting below the belt.
Absolutely.
You're not going to speak to someone like you're speaking to a person in the street. This is a person that you
Hello?
share life with.
Yeah,
You know,
hello.
this is a person you share life with. So there's
Okay.
certain things you just don't say and do.
Right. Absolutely. And I mean, just like anything else, a lot of that comes with time.
It
you
does.
know, it comes with time. But what would you say are some of the major myths about mental health? About mental health? I was going to ask about therapy, but about mental health alone first. What are some of the myths we hear a lot of time about mental health?
Right. Well, one of the biggest ones probably that people who seek mental health services are weak. That's not what we believe. We believe that people who seek help want to stay strong. They realize that something has gotten into their court, their area that they need help in managing, and they want to stay strong. So I really encourage people to reach out initially. When you start struggling with something, and it keeps turning over and over in your mind, that's probably an indication that you might need to get some outside help to kind of process that.
Right.
So you can get back on track.
And is it expensive for people?
Not really. So there's different methods of payment, and some people have sliding scale payment. It depends on your income. There's a lot of stuff out there that the state owns, and you can go there and seek services. Because overall, society wants people to be mentally strong. Because our thinking is what drives us. Right?
Absolutely.
You think it.
Yeah.
You think it first.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what you think, you do.
Absolutely.
So it's about changing the process of your thoughts.
Yes.
To kind of get to where you going. And I'm what I'm saying is just in this short time in 2018 and we're going into 2019, I know where I started with this year and where I'm at now, and I'm just amazed. And for so long, I literally had a mental block. I didn't think that I was enough. I didn't think that I can do what I'm doing now. Even with starting the show, it took me forever to do my first show. I was a wreck. I was nervous. I had so much anxiety. And when I started the show, it was just more so I wasn't pregnant, and I just knew I was going to have wine time with some girl time. I had all these plans and
I
thoughts.
can drink some wine. I can drink some wine.
He waiting for me, okay? But I had all of these visions, and I think this was around the time when I met Linda, actually. And it was just, I was going through so much, just a lot of different things. And the best thing I could have done and the best advice that I always give is I saved my girlfriends a lot of time because I laid on my therapist. A lot of times the people don't want to keep hearing the same old, and it's just you shouldn't do that to your friends. You shouldn't do that to your loved ones, especially if you are fortunate enough to have that insurance or to be able to seek that free help.
Use it.
Use it.
Use it, man.
Use it.
Better get that card out of your wallet and use that.
Use
thing,
it.
man.
Use it.
Yeah.
And use it for your kids too. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm looking into doing for my daughter. Because what I'm finding out is parents, this stuff ain't come with a book.
That's right.
We don't know. Like, we can think we doing the best job in the world, but somewhere in there, your kid feel neglected or feel like, oh, you could do something. But it's just very important that we try to do the best that we can do.
Yeah, I mean,
so
I know,
it's out here.
Yep. One of my kids had ran into an issue or what have you that I felt was very serious, and I looked up someone that she could go talk to, a therapist, and to this day tells me all the time that they value that time with that person, and she was able to help her open up and come into her own, and now she's in college doing extremely well. I'm so proud of her and the young lady that she has become, and I think a lot of that has to do with those sessions that she had with the person that she met with, and like I mentioned, me getting married and going to therapy, just even marriage and couples counseling. I learned a lot about myself and a lot of issues that I had and things going on to me that just wasn't cool. You know what I mean? And things that I probably would have never even realized had I not gone through that and been willing to do that. Yeah. And you know, I say it all the time. I urge all people, and especially black folks, because you know we've been through a lot.
Sure.
We've been through a lot.
We've been. I mean, people in general of all races and nationalities been through a lot. But you know, a lot of times when I speak specifically about us, and we've been through a lot.
Because we know us.
You know
So
what
it's
I'm
not
saying?
that we're racist or we
Yeah.
feel a certain way. I love all people, and that's no lie. But it's like I speak to what I know, and I can speak to it with, with a passion. So when I say us, and I'm only speaking to what I know. And if you want to talk about your background and where you're from, you're welcome to come on the show. Teach me some things. I don't discriminate. I love everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we love everybody here at the Buzy With B show. So, I mean, you're welcome to come on, but when we speak, we speaking from what we know, so it's just like what we know is where we're from. We don't talk about these things, and we are saying it's okay to talk about. Let's talk about it. Let's get the help that we need so that we can be better, because a lot of things is just mental. It's a mental block. It's literally
Absolutely.
your mind is blocked and you can't get to where you're trying to go. It's just like unlocking some of that stuff that's up there. And what is it called when you kind of suppressed, because you've been doing the same thing the same way, and we block from what we see every day too, and we lucky if we don't get attached to the drugs. And I had somebody to tell me that was an officer, and he said, I had court today, and there was a young lady in there, and she was from, Southeast, and she was stealing, and she had like all these babies, and I just thought about you, and it was just like, this could have been you, so it's just all about really the choices that we make, and if we fortunate enough, I was always fortunate enough for God to place people around me, and I call her my angel here on earth, Beverly Lasson. She had me in church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I was fortunate enough to fall in love with God early in life. And even though I'm not, quote unquote, I'm not in church every Sunday, but I developed the conscience at an early age. Like, what would Jesus do? That sounds so corny, but it saved my life, And yes, I did experiment with drugs and stuff like that, but it didn't get a hold on me. I was scared of drugs because I watched my mom do them. I was scared of the alcohol because that's what my dad did. And so I never could really get attached to those things, but it don't work like that for everybody. You got a story, Boost?
No, I wanted to ask Miss Linda here. So a lot of times when we talking to people, one of the first things I hear people say is, I ain't telling nobody all my business. Can we talk about, and can you share some of the legal part of therapy, and because I'm sure there got to be some type of guidelines or some ramifications if you would just go out and just start spreading people's business.
Oh, absolutely. So we are held to a very high standard when it comes to confidentiality. So we create a safe environment for people to talk about things. And we're governed by laws and regulations, and we could absolutely lose our license if anyone's personal information get compromised. So understand that, yes, your information is definitely confidential, what you say to your counselor. It stays right there. Unless there's a legal issue and we get subpoenaed to provide documentation, that's a whole different story. But most of us know what to document and what not to document when it comes to a lot of things.
And how would you give advice to someone who wants to go out and seek a good therapist? I know I've talked to people who have tried this person, ain't like them. They tried this person, ain't like them. And then after one or two people, they give up on the whole thing. Like, man, I ain't doing this. Like, does it often take a few people, or what's your take on all of that?
Well, for some people it might, because you certainly want to find a good fit. You're going to be going in there sharing some very personal stuff, and you're going to be vulnerable. You're going to open yourself up to someone, so you definitely want to make sure it's a good fit. And I say to people, you usually know when you connect with someone and when you don't. If you feel like you don't connect, then that's okay too. Find someone that you connect with. Because that's the most important piece for you to be able to, for a person to be able to be themselves. They need to feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
I had someone that went to a therapist, right? I mean, I went through a couple of before I found Linda. But I had someone that went to a therapist, and it was just like, I almost felt like the advice she was giving was as if she was, a girl on the street or something. I was like, no, why would she? A lot of, what I respect about the type of coaching, I call it now, that the type of coaching that I get from you is, it's different strokes for different folks, but I just allow, you kind of say it, and then, self-consciously you kind of have your own answer in it, so, and then you kind of get homework to do, and it's okay, but it's be careful of those therapists that's your girlfriend, in the sense of pulling from experiences, and you'll know, because I knew, and I was like, but pulling from experiences that they may have experienced, and they bringing it into your therapy section, and part of having a therapist is someone looking outside of your situation, and a lot of times the good ones, they know that we already have the answer, so they really there to listen and pull it out of you. So appreciate that. But I just had to share that because you gotta go through a couple of therapists. Right. You may have to. And even if you click with the first one, you just want to make sure that that's the one. So let me go, and it's okay.
It's okay.
One of our viewers said there are some great core service agencies in DC. I guess there's an agency called DBH has really stepped their game up. Lots of great therapy in the city.
Awesome.
And I'm sure a lot of it may be free or very, like you said, depending on your income, based on your income. So that's great. Do you ever get people coming in there and they cuss you out and they get in your face? Like, have you ever had like some real,
Well, not from,
incidents almost?
Well, not from adults. Usually maybe from children a long time ago. Yeah, kids. Because kids, they are still baking. I like to say they don't really know how to manage their emotions.
They think they know everything.
But they
Mine
just
do.
don't.
Mine do.
They don't have to
How
learn
old
to
are they,
manage.
Boots?
12, about to be 13, 15, and 18.
Yes.
Boys, girls,
Girl, boy.
girl, boy.
Yeah.
All of them know. Think they know everything.
Yeah. So if a person is really overly aggressive, they're probably not ready for counseling yet.
Yeah.
So they need to get stable first, because you can't receive something when you're all worked up, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So they probably need to get it stable first and then come to
I got a quick, interesting. What you think about giving kids butt whoopings?
Okay, listen.
As a professional, what you think about spanking your kids?
Well, I think that spanking is one thing, but abuse is something else. You just got to know the limitation before you cross the line. I say if you're going to discipline your children, don't do it when you're angry. Try not to do it when you're angry.
That's a great point right there.
Don't do it when you're angry. Walk away and come back and talk about what's going on, and then decide what you want to do about it.
So I can yell and scream at it and then be like, in about a couple hours, I'm going to come back in here with my belt, and it's going to be
But hey, look, basically, I'm trying to tell you. With Zoe, this little girl just full of so much life.
How old is she again?
She 8.
Oh,
but
you
it's
in
just
for it.
what I'm saying. It's no getting butt whippings in the house. By the time she finished, like no, and and what I'm saying is we was raised on that. You know what I'm saying? We got our butt spanked.
Sure.
So for like the city or the government to feel like that's something they can take away. But again, it's a line.
It is.
I've never
It
experienced
is.
what I would say abuse is.
Yeah,
But
me either.
I've never experienced that. But it's just like I'm saying, but Zoe don't even know that, But it's just like if you tap a kid or you do something, it's like I really had CPS at my door, and I was shocked. I was like, Zoe don't get butt whippings. Like, what are y'all talking
Zoe
about?
come hang out with Uncle Boots. His belt might come off.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are y'all doing here? But it's just like anybody can call and say you doing something to your child or you doing something, and I just don't think I don't think that's right.
Yeah, well, they can call and say those things, but of course, they'll do a inquiry into investigation, see what's going on.
I know.
So, many of those cases are not even substantiated, so that's just keep in mind. But
Because I believe in it. I'm saying it. I believe in tapping that tail sometime.
When I definitely believe in it. Have I accomplished it yet? I don't know.
Such a soft.
I can't.
She almost too old for that now.
What I'm trying to tell you is like the so far is like me with Bella now that Bella's coming. I know what type of mom. I want to be better. I had Zoe a little younger, but the fun part of this going through this transition is, actually being present and actually, having my partner there, and having, I'm not going through this alone. So again, because of where we came from, another mental situation and a mental breakdown, and all of this is new. So this is all of the good stuff that I talk about with my therapist, being in, like Boo said, therapy with your mate and all of that good stuff, just trying to get to a better place.
Y'all going to therapy? Have y'all started going to therapy?
So, honey, we're camera I look at, but no, we definitely have spoken about it. We know moving forward is something that we have to do, and I've actually spoken about it with Linda. So we are going to take those steps.
Go ahead and go to therapy with your lady, man. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it's something you got to do every other day, every week, or on any type of set schedule. Just as long as you're going with some type of regularity, and you're not going in there like.
No, one thing I can say is
but
like
you actually are engaging.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
One thing I can
waste
say,
your time and money.
Yeah, but one thing I could say is, I brought it up before, is it's something that he wanted to do on his own, and I was very appreciative to that, and it's just like, well, the only time I got a problem is with you, so we need to so that's our argument in the house. The only time he got a problem is with me, so. It's definitely moving forward and bringing life into the world and wanting to build a better life as the best thing that we can do. So we haven't went yet, and we probably will do a follow-up show. And I'm the open one in the family, so as soon as I can get them on here, then
I was gonna say you can bring them bring them to WLVS.
Look, as soon as I can get him on here,
chop it up with us.
He's welcome to join us in the studio, and he's very, very intelligent and. Have the wit, but
go ahead,
so.
big up your boo. Big up your boo. Go ahead, big up your boo. There you go.
That's right. That's right.
So, Miss Linda, did you have any words of wisdom to kind of start to close us out with this evening?
I just want to say, please don't suffer in silence. There's help out there. Just kind of reach out. If you can't find the motivation to do it by yourself, get a friend or a family member that you trust and allow them to help you find the help that you need. Because I know for so long that mental health and issues like that were tabooed in our culture. And,
very much so.
And now we're seeing that there's a different way of doing it. So, yeah, certainly reach out.
Reach out. Definitely. Buzy With B is here for you. Boots is here.
Absolutely. Do you have social media and things like that people can follow you on and maybe reach out to you? Or how can they contact you if they want to possibly use you as their therapist?
Okay, so right now I am not in private practice because usually you'll reach out to someone that's in private practice. I'm actually now working for an organization.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so.
And what organization is that?
We don't mention that.
Well, excuse me.
Okay.
Well, still go. I have found that you can go on your Googles and look up any you can put in some very specific things to search by and find some people. Whether if you're looking for a Jewish therapist, if you're looking for a Christian-based therapist, if you're looking for non-Christian-based, if you're looking for African American or what have you, it's a plethora of them out here. So please go find somebody.
And you can look on the back of your insurance card. That's where I started.
Yes,
that's where I started. Right. It's help out here. Let's take advantage of the help. Let's become unbondage, with the word I'm looking for.
That's right.
Yeah, let's become unbound, unchained. Let's break these chains. I always try to, not promote religion too much, but, put God first. Talk to him and pray and give it to him. And a lot of this concept has gotten me this far, and I always be like, should I be here? We could all lose our mind at some point. We've all have stories. And again, I'm speaking that book into existence, Boots. But we all have stories, so it's okay. Let's tell it to the right person. Let's get the help we need. Don't tell your story. You out there telling your problems, and people behind your back
Right.
laughing and want to see you when you down. When you get up, they not there for you. You know, they don't
That's
see
right.
you no more.
Well.
So it's just like, let's get the help that we need with the right type of people that, you know, not judging you, don't know you. You know, get the help you need so you can be on top and truly live your best life.
That's right.
You can always call and talk to me. I've been known to be a therapist for a few people here and there.
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. Anybody that
Yes.
generally has your best interests at heart,
We all are, yeah. My
Reach out
mom
to
is
'em.
some. Well, I don't, you know. Well, I will just say, you know, I won't say she's my therapist, but I like to go talk to her. You know, I'm more so. I love mom, but
And sometimes people just want you to listen.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid that you got to fix something. Just
Yeah, just
listen and let,
listen.
the,
Yep.
and let the discussion just unfold right in the moment. Just
Absolutely.
listen. Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, I know we coming to the end of the show, boo.
Yeah, man. This I think this is one of the most important shows we've done,
Yeah.
and hopefully, people tuned in and they got a little bit of knowledge. Hopefully, my brothers tuned in and
Yeah,
kind
definitely.
of got away from the whole stereotype of like you said, of being weak. You know, it means you're weak if you go, you know, sit down and talk to somebody, seek some type of therapy or some type of help. You know, all these young people that's out there that may be listening, your schools have guidance counselors that can help you out. They right there in the school with you. I know I don't even remember any of my guidance counselors' names.
Me
any of
neither.
that.
Me neither.
Same
But
here.
but that's not a good thing. You know, you know, whether it's school and class related, or whether you're having issues at home, whether you're having issues with, especially with the whole bullying thing and all that type of stuff. Man, go talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
Definitely go talk to somebody.
Yeah. So we have a special guest in the studio, y'all. We spoke him up a little bit. Robert is in the building. Baby daddy.
I'm sitting there like, why is he special? Oh, okay. What's up, bro?
So now I'm off my game, right? But no, I'm so excited to do this show, and I'm so
Thank you.
I'm so privileged that you
Thank
gave
you for
us
having me. Absolutely.
man. You know, so me and Robert, we're gonna schedule our first session. And
Rob, you heard that? You already,
It'll be
you
my-
gotta go now,
It'll be
dog.
my pleasure.
You gotta go.
Yes.
It's on camera now,
It's
man.
on-
He released it to the universe.
It's on wax, dog. You gotta go now.
Yeah. So, but thank you so much. You guys see a lot of changes happening here with Buzy With B. My logo is there. Soon it'll be here. I'm just so excited to finally brand and grow and just let go and just let God take me in places that I wasn't even sure. Like I said, I started this. This was just a live internet show podcast. And trust me, he was right here with me talking about, you sure you want to do this? I was like, no. But I can honestly say this is the best thing that has happened to me. And if I wasn't doing this, what would I be doing? So if you're not living your dream and following your passion, let's start with like getting these mental holds from off of us. You know, that's a start. Let's start there.
Right.
Thank you so much
You're welcome. My
for
pleasure.
coming out.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Yep. Oh, real quick. If everybody out there, like we talked about earlier, entrepreneurs and businesses and things of that nature, soon Buzy With B will start talking about sponsorship and advertising available. That's going to be coming down the pike. So please be on the lookout for that. Please stay in touch with that. A lot of our past guests and things of that nature, friends to the show, will be reaching out to. Hopefully you guys will reach out to us. But if you have a business or you have any type of venture, you need some advertising. I mean, this is Listen Vision.
Listen
They
Vision.
all over the globe,
All
man. They
over the
big
globe.
time, man. So this is where you want to advertise your business and get on board with this thing, because I see some great things happening.
Great things.
With Buzy With B. So
So
now is the time.
excited. Now is the time. So November shows. I'm always excited. That's my line. I'm
is.
so excited.
She
I
always
think-
like, she be on 10.
I'm trying to tell
All the
you.
time.
I'm trying to
I ain't
tell
mad, though.
you. But November shows is lined up. We got James Butler back in the studio next week, a day before the
But out and
elections.
vote.
day before elections right here to take your questions and really be in the hot seat because he wants your vote. We need to write him in. What else I got going on? Oh, we're going to talk about domestic violence because this is Domestic Violence Month. Mm-hmm. So I had to push that show back to get James Butler in here, but we're going to talk about domestic violence, and I have a chef coming to the studio.
I like to eat.
Ooh, me too.
You know, I like to eat now.
You know, you guys are welcome
like
to
to
join
eat.
me in the studio. He cooked for Obama. So I told him I want to eat what Obama was eating, but he has a great story. I'll drop that name in the coming weeks. But thank you guys for tuning in. See you each and every Monday right here on Buzy With B with Boots.
I got money to build, yeah, shorty stacking like a mule type of shit that is